Great patience and jignasa, respected Shrota Sadhakas. Friends, you have to listen to these great Shastras. Even in this Kali Yuga of so many distractions and weakening aspects around. Wonderful, keep it up. I am praying for you and me. The Lord bless with the required strength, stamina, energy, intelligence to consistently study and understand the Shastras and the courage, conviction, commitment, consistency to do the due sadhanas, and in this very life may we reach to our ultimate goal of the Adhisthana Paramatma Anubhuti. Yoga Vaashishtha Maharamayana Shastra Adhenam. We are doing third Utpatthi Prakaranam Leelopakhyanam. In this, the Yuddha. See, these people have reached their Mother Saraswati and Leela, who have come to watch the Yuddha that is explained. Who are the Sainyas that are there for Yuddha? That's explained. What are the Ayudhas used? Explained. Vyuhas? Explained. And the terrible Yuddha also explained. Then now they are tired, exhausted, themselves called for the stoppage of the Yuddha. All agreed. Then the white flags waving declaration of Shanti, but post Yuddha, the terrible scenes are described, which we are studying now in the 38th Sarga. Only to make us know that even though it is a Kalpita Jagata, yet here also so many terrible things will happen leading to so much of pain. Even though it is like dream, but the experience of the pains will be there if there is Yuddha preceded by the Ahankara, Garva, Swartha, Vidvesha, ityad. So to say, even in the Kalpita Vivaharika Jagat, we don't know the decency of living. That we there also falter with so much of negativities, fighting with each other, killing each other. This is how the Maya pulls us down. This is the mind pulls us down. All this we have to understand and rise above the outside instead of Yuddha, the Shanti. Then from that also with Viveka Vairagya, withdrawal, because it's all temporary, limited, conditional. Then becoming introverted, realize the innermost self. Only to realize it, we again and again call it as the innermost self, Pratyagatma. But after realizing that, Sarvatma, that alone is there, there is nothing other than it. So let us continue the Varnana of the Yuddha Kshetra post Yuddha or when the Yuddha stopped. Okay. It is a 38th Sarga. We saw up to yesterday श्लोका नंबर 10 और 11 आगे बढ़ते हैं. ओम 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 सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मभक्ति योग धर्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. ओम यैरिमे गुरुभि पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः सच्छास्त्राः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्. ओम श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने. ओम ब्रह्मानंदं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि। परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्म भक्तियोगधर्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीरामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे श्री वशिष्ठ विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि वेदव्यास वामदेव नारदादि श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणादि शास्त्राणाम् आचार्येभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषद योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्षकैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुति स्मृति पुराणेतिहास संतवाङ्मयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थम तत्रोक्त ऋषि मुनि गुरु देवता दर्शनानुग्रह अनुभव प्राप्त्यर्थम सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ते विश्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिवकृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनर्वाप्ते तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातनधर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यन्तर शत्रुविघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हैन्दव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्मसाफल्यार्थम् अनेकशास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री राम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। मंगलाचरण श्लोकाः। ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शन दृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरेवनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखगनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं। ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ स्वसदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे। विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं। तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्री गुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः। पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरपि कलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने। यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृत जलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये। ओम श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः। वशिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः। श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रम तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणम लीलोपाख्याने आहव वर्णनं नाम 38तमः सर्गः। Sri Vasishtha Uvacha. So, from the 8th mantra, straight away, Atha Senadinathabhyam Vicharya Saha Mantrivihi Dutaha Parasparam Vrutta Yuddham Samhriyatamiti. So, Atha Sena Adinathabhyam Saha Mantrivihi Vicharya. So, Senadinathas, mantris, they usually done the vicharana. Then Dutaha Parasparam Vruttaha. They have sent the messengers, ambassadors to each direction. So one is this paksha, other is that paksha. But yet in that too, this kingdom, this kingdom, this is kingdom were fighting, no? So after the leaders discussed, totally they decided to stop the war. So they sent the Duta ambassadors to each direction. Okay, Yuddham Samhritam iti. Tatra, in that Yuddha at that time, Shrama Vashat, because of the so much of Shrama, tiredness, exhaustion, any person with any amount of Shakti, after some time of the Yuddha or any of the work, definitely the Shaktis in the Upadhis get exhausted. People will get tired. Like I cannot talk more than 1 hour, 20 minutes. I'll be tired only. Now, after 5-10 years, 20 minutes से ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगा. Isn't it? So to anybody working in the office. He is a very good youngster with lots of exercises, very healthy diet. He is so good that 8 hours, 10 hours he can work. Little more than others. But after that, he will also be tired. And 1 day, 2 days. Third day onward, तो थक ही जाते. So Upadhi level, tiredness will definitely be there. That is how. Same time, another, by the way, learning, which is not in topic, is keep on conserving the energies for the greater and higher works. A common sense thought. Okay. Tatra Shrama Vashat Manda Yantra Shastra Parakramaihi. The yantras, the shastras, the mutual parakramas, attackings, they have become manda, slowly dull, reduced. Now you can see also the number of missiles US and Israel putting on Iran, Iran putting on all US bases, and Israel. So many in the beginning. अब धीरे धीरे कम होएंगे वो. Yeah, China can give lot of weapons, Russia can give, but how much they can give, isn't it? If they give up every of their weapons, their enemies will understand. अरे इसके पास आयुध नहीं, अब अटैक करो. So anyway, so manda shastrastra parakramaihi. Then rana samharanam kale. Kale means the time has come. Therefore, rana samharanam, the samharana, the withdrawal of the yuddha. Sarvaihi eva urari krutam. Everybody thought and accepted in the hearts and shared with each other, told each other. This is how the yuddha stopped. Hmm. Even in life too, let not the yuddha parasthiti come at all between two any of the individuals. Even it comes, let it end soon. On the table only, things can be sorted out for a long, many of them. 99.99. युद्ध तो आना ही नहीं देना चाहिए. Because the destruction is so much, which is unwanted, unnecessary. That to rebuild it again, it takes sometimes decades, centuries. Now you see, whatever is destroyed in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Israel, in Iran, to rebuild it, so much time, to Dubai also. So tough it is to remake it, UAE and all. And there will be doubt also. You can't trust these countries. Again, after 5 years, they will gather all weaponry. Again, they attack each other. It's चल ही रहा है ना. So the mind gets distraction. Peace, togetherness, they go away. Always worry, tension, anxiety. Better avoid yuddha. So sarvaireva urari krutam rana samharanam kale tataha. Thereafter, Maharatha Uttunga Ketu Pranta Kruta Aspadam. So Maharatha Uttunga Ketu Pranta Kruta. A big ratha on that the topest mountain, topest position. Balayoho Arroha Ekaikaha Yoda. Of each of the Bala, the Sainya, so many are explained. Na? From all over the directions they came. Eastern, western, northern, southern, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. From each of the group, one Yudha on his own biggest of the chariots he stood. Then Eka Yodaha Dhruvo Yatha looking like a Dhruva Tara. He was made to climb and be on the top. Then what was given to him and what was he doing? Saha Amshukam Ramayamasa Sarva Dingmandale Sitam. Sitam is white colored. Amshukam, the big janda, Brahmayamasa Sarvading Mandale. He was moving it all directions. To say that now we have no fighting to do with any of the directions. In that way, everyone has raised the white flag to say that we are also ready to stop the war. If somebody wants to continue, he will not have that white agenda. It means that he is ready to fight. But ऐसे कोई थे नहीं. Everybody agreed. Shama iva dirgha shuddhamshum yuddham samhriyatam iti. So, dirgha shuddhamshum shama iva. Like the Chandrama were the pataka so big, they moved to say that the yuddha we are stopping. Tato dundhuvayo neduho. Then a huge dundubid dhvani svana is made. Pratidhvanita dingmukaha. That Dunduvi Dhvani is resounded from all the four directions. Then how was that seen now? Mahapralaya sam shantau Pushkaravartaka iva. So the Pushkaravarta meghas sent by Indra or the Lord for creating Mahapralaya. Mahapralaya is over now. As a last banging, the Pushkaravarta megha making big sound and then receding. So too, in the beginning of Yuddha, everybody made the Dundubi Dhvani. That went on till the Yuddha went on to encourage, inspire their own groups. Now, as a last trumpet blow, all the Dundubidis made sound and they also got quieted. So, this is the war conclusion Dundubi Dhvani. All know it. It was well trained, they all know the rules, regulations there. Okay. Then now from onwards, after the Yuddha stopped, each one was going back. Yet that Bhayankara Yuddha Kshetra with so many dead bodies and all, Uska Varnanayaha, Vasishtha is deliberately doing exhaustively only to make us feel how abominable, terrible, frightening would be the consequences of this yuddha. So never ever yourself as an individual be a cause of yuddha or be a part of the yuddha unless and until it is too important. है ना? देश रक्षण धर्म संरक्षण. If there is no other way, then there is no way. Therefore, you have to. When others are coming and killing, so instead of just like that getting killed, we also have to attack. Because anyway, मर रहे हैं because they are attacking. प्राण संरक्षणार्थम कहते हैं उसको. Okay, now the descriptions here are of the various ayudhas and all. Same is in today's world. When the wars are happening, and then when it is ending, same destruction, but that time the destruction of the things that were there that time, this time the destruction of the things that are there this time. The broken bridges, collapsed buildings, and all the destroyed cars and the roads, all the machinery destroyed, big towers broken, shopping malls gone, entertainment things gone. This is how in today's world when the yuddha happens, the destruction is. उस समय का वो है जो है वहां. So it is said, शरादिहेति सरितः विस्तीर्णे गगने स्थिते प्रवृत्ताः सुखम् आगन्तुं सरसः सरितो यथा. So Sharadi Saritah Vikstirne Gagane Sthite. Till that time, all the Heti, the Khadgas, Sharadi, the Dhanushbanas, which were Gagane Sthite, were at the space aiming at each other. Pravruttaha Sukham Agantum Sarasaha Sarito Yatha. Like the from the Sarasaha, the Himalayan mountains, the rivers coming down, इसी तरह the ऊपर उठाए हुए all the Dhanurbana and the Khadga, slowly they started coming down of everybody. So युद्ध के लिए तैयार, like that Bagal Shastra and Baju Shastra की तरह, from that Baju Shastra they come to Bagal Shastra. नीचे ले आए all the Ayudas. And thereafter, naturally, when the war stopped, these Ayudas slowly go back to their places. When the Yuddha is not there, why carry the load and weight of them? Already tired, exhausted. They even, some of them might have put their heavy Ayudas down. Means all those which were standing up to fight each other, now because the Yuddha stopped, they came down. That is the meaning. Sharadi heti saritaha, which was vistirne gagane sthite, now spravrutaha sukham agantum, slowly they came down. Sarasa sarito yatha, like from the higher mountain ranges, the downwards the rivers coming. Then description. योधदोर्द्रुमसञ्चार स्तनुता माययौशनैः भूकम्पान्ते वनस्पन्द इवाभ्रान्ता इवार्णवः. See that Yodha of the great Yuddha, Yodhas, Dordruma Samcharaha. Dordruma means the shouldered trees. Their Sancharaha, which were moving with fighting, etc. Tanutam Ayayoshene, Chanai Dire Dire, that Sanchara of the trees of the shoulders or the hands started becoming quietened. Example is Bhukampa Ante Vanaspanda Iva. When the earthquake stops, how all the Vriksha Sampada, etc., which was shaking at the time of Bhukampa, when the Bhukampa stops, how they become slowly quieted. Another example, Iva Bhranta Iva Arnavaha, like the heavy rainy season, the rivers, oceans, how much they will be gurgling and all. Once the Sharat Kala gets over, the rainy season goes away, how all the oceans, rivers become quietened. In the same way, the Bhayankara Bhujas of all the Yodhas, they became quite is equal to the Yuddha, they stopped. Next, Vinirgantum Pravavrute Ranad Athabaladvayam Varipurah Chaturdikshu Pralayaikarnavadiva. So Ranat Atha Baladvayam Vinirgantum Prav. Baladvayam, both the Yodhas or the armies from both sides, Vinirgantum Pravavrute started receding backwards. युद्ध विराम हुआ इसलिए. एग्जाम्पल वारिपूरा चतुर्दिक्षु प्रलय कारणवादिवा. See, during the pralaya kala, all samudras come together and that becomes eka samudra, and then the whole earth is almost dissolved in it. When the pralaya kala is over, then the samudra goes back to in its own position. The time earth as if again surfaces. Imagine that in the mind. So too, the Sainya, like Samudra, came together and fought there. Now slowly they are Vinirgantum Prabhavarte. They started Vinirgamanam, exiting, going back. Then Utkshipta Mandara Kshira Samudra Vadana Kulam Sainyam Prashamyat Avartam Shanaihi Samyamupayayo. See? Example, Utkshipta Mandara, Kshira Samudra Vadana Akula. In the Kshira Samudra, when the Mandarachala was there, Devatas, Rakshasas were churning. How disturbed was the Samudra? Now the churning stopped, the Mandarachala taken out of the ocean. ocean left for itself after some time, how it comes absolutely calm, quiet. So to Yuddha named Mandarachala movement when stopped, everything like the Samudra became quiet, started becoming silent. There, Sainyam Prashamyatu. The whole Sainya started becoming Prashamita. Avartam Shanaihi Samyam Upayayo. That Bhayankara Avarta in the ocean because of the Mantarachala, when it was moving, starts becoming quiet, and when the movement stopped, Mantarachala removed. So that word picture Vasishtaji is giving. We have to have that imagination power to imagine. And not like from there, wherever the ayudhas were piled up, collected, when they are taking one by one ayudhas, then fighting with each other with so much of power, excitement, and dynamism, etc. All of that slowly getting quieted. So you can feel first the hands coming down, second ayudas going to their own place, thirdly the body movements getting reduced. So to the pranavayu movement, which was so excited during the war, getting quiet, and finally even their minds also slowly getting settled. From that yuddha to the non-yuddha, which happens everywhere. When the artists are there on the stage, when they start, when the performance is at the peak level, when slowly the performance is over, how they also start winding up their instruments, etc. Same way in a cricket match or football, how excited they are when it begins, when the play is going on. Khatam hote hi dheere dheere, you can see their body languages. है ना, शेक हैंड करके अपने डगआउट जो भी आकर स्लोली पैड्स एवरीथिंग रिमूव्ड, रिलैक्स. हर जगह वैसे ही होता है. तो यहाँ भी शांत. All the avarta of the samudra stopped because the Mandarachala removed. So the whole movement of the ocean of the soldiers stopped because the Mandarachala named Yuddha stopped. Okay. क्रमेणासीत् मुहूर्तेन विकटोदर भीषणम् अगस्त्य पीतवर्ण पीतार्णववत् शून्यमेव रणाङ्गणम्. क्रमेण आसीत् मुहूर्तेन. Slowly in a muhurta kala, one muhurta is 48 minutes. In that Kramena asit, what? Vikata udara bhishanam. Vikata, terrible, udara, central portion, bhishanam, frightening. You know, Samudra, as it becomes quiet, and Vikata udara bhishana yuddha stopped. Example, you see, Agastya Pita Arnavavat. Agastya Rishi is said to have consumed entire Samudra. You know that Jahnu Rishi has consumed the entire Ganga Nadi because he seated there, Ganga coming down from the Himalayas toward that Ganga Sagara to give moksha to all Sagara Putra. Agastya ji was sitting there, not Agastya, Jahnu Rishi. उनका आश्रम उखाड़ दिया गंगा जी ने. He said, "What dare you do that?" He just said like that. Whole Ganga went. Then she said, "No, no, no. My purpose of coming is not fulfilled." Then from his ears he leaves the water. That's why Ganga is called Jahnavi, Jahnuputri. He consumes and leaves through the ears. More terrible than Jahnu Rishi is Agastya Rishi. He has consumed the ocean only. So, as if the Agastyaji consumed the ocean, it appears as it is no more there as most. In that way, this Yuddha Samudra also quieted. Kramena asit muhurtena vikata udara bhishanam rananganam agastya pita arnavavat shunyameva. Absolutely, the Yuddha stopped. है ना. You can see the weekly markets. होते हैं ना कोई जगह जगह पे शनिवार वाला सब्जियों का मार्केट. वो 4-3 o'clock they start putting up to 10-11, इतना होता रहता है. After that slowly quietens. Next day you see absolutely shant. Hundreds of examples of this type. The peak hours of traffic, railway stations, bus stands. When that is over, shant. You know, I always remember, नई दिल्ली में in the central government offices places, evening up to 6:30, 7:30. From evening 4 to कितना भीड़ भाड़ रश लोग, especially in सर्दियों का मौसम, that's different. As 8 o'clock happens, slowly the entire Parliament Street, Janpat, all of that shant. I think even now also, because only central government offices are there, employees go home calm and quiet. Here also, the Yuddha stopped. The situation slowly in this way is becoming quietened. That explanation is going on. Then, though the Yuddha stopped, but already whatever had happened, its consequences were so terrible there to see. What is that? Shava Santati Sampurnam Vahad Raktanadakulam Parikujana Jhankara Purna Jhilli Vanopamam. So, Shava Santati Sampurnam. But that place is full of the dead bodies there. Vahad Raktanadakulam. So many Rakta Nadis are flowing there. Then Parikujana Jhankara Purna Jhilli Vanopamam. So the Jhilli Vana means a forest with lots of mud pools in between, and in that like frog but not frog. Those particular इतने ही रहते हो जीवा, but they make such a sound. It goes up to some kilometers distance. So here, though the Yuddha stopped, the dukkha of the people, etc., was giving that Jhillikavana Shabda. So Parikujana Jhankara Purna Jhillivana Upamam. So it is looking like that forest. Sometimes even the dense forest, you can see variety of small little insects, even little bigger ones, making the sounds. Morning, evening, the pakshis make the sound. Daytime, less sound heard. Night times, those small insects they make. Sunne ko hota hai. Like that. Then, vahad rakta sarisrotaha tarangarava ghargaram. See, vahad rakta sarisrot. The blood rivers are flowing, and that river flowing, the tarangas dashing each other. That sound is heard now. So the dhvani of the Rakta Tarangas dashing each other. See how terrible it is to remember that. Okay. Next, Sakrandardha Mrutahuta Saprana Vyagramaanavam. See, Ardha Mruta, half dead people, Ahuta, calling and inviting. Akrandana, with dukkha and pain, Saprana Vyagramaanavam. The people who are alive, safe, intact, calling them for the help. आधे मरे लोग जो है उनको बुला रहे हैं, मदद करो करके. In the Yuddha also, when the buildings collapse and all. So yesterday they are in that hospital in Afghanistan. When Pakistan attacked, 408 people died. That Akrandana. Night time it was, 9:30. क्या पता है नहीं. So that half dead people asking the help from those who are alive. That sound is heard. Sa akranda ardhamruta ahutana ahuta saprana vyagra manavam. And naturally, these people who are kind, compassionate are so vyagra, busy in trying to help them out. भूकंप होता है तो all these NDRF or whoever are the protecting force, how they run with the big stretchers and all, ambulances collecting the bodies or those who are alive, taking them to hospitals, giving a first aid, etc. All that scene is Vyagramanava. The people are there who are trying to save those who are wounded, half dead, can be alive, etc. More word picture I can't give. You understand seeing what's happening. Whether it is a bus accident happens or any of the train collisions happen, any of these earthquakes happen, the akrandana, the half dead, shouting at others to help. Remember all these as we saw in our today's morning class common sense thought. And after few shlokas here also it's going to come in that position. of terrible half dead, half of the life lived only, is because of our own karma, our own vasanas, our own samskara. Very careful we are to be. है ना? You justify, it's okay. There is no end for justification. है ना? कहते हैं, मैं देश के लिए लड़ता हुआ मैं मरूंगा. ये looks very good. बट मरने को क्या जरूरत है? जीकर परमात्मा को जानो. Which is the higher thought. Isn't it? Then people justify, oh, if everybody that way become Babaji, then who will protect the country from the enemies? Think. This is how they justify. Are there will be no enemy, they will also become Babaji. Yoga Kshemam Bahami. First, you become, no. There are so many others. But people justify and all. And that sankalpa in the mind, though it starts to be beginning to be a noble way, that I have to protect my nation, my dharma and all, slowly it becomes such a hatred or such type of thought that we are not even aware that we one day find ourselves in a place where this such yuddha is happening. And we don't think कि हम ऐसे किधर आकर कैसे फंसे हैं. That's the thought slowly developed. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् देखो क्रोधो भी जाए. Very sublime it is. Not easily what you call apprehendable by us. But it happens. And if I consider myself to be an individual with upadhi, if I consider my safety, security is important, this is how it appears to be so noble. Then, along with safety, security, I also want some sukha. For that, I want the objects. Then I have to gain them. Then I have to steal them. Then I have to loot, plunder them. This is how slowly that falling down in our mind of the thoughts happen. Finally, we want the things for ourselves so much that for that we are ready even to destroy others. That's how the yuddhas. No yuddha suddenly happens. It's a very small little thought starts with aham mama, mayaru mora, toratai maya. Dire dire, if we are not spiritual and if we are not arresting the flow of the thought with the opposite thought that sarvam brahmayam, I'm also Brahman, there are no upadhis, all are mithya. If this vaccine is not given in the beginning itself, slowly this thought infection rises to the disease level of terrible yuddha. I'm not saying out of imagination or all. That's how it happens. Whether it's a Hitler's war of killing 10 lakhs of people, or the Mussolini's war it is, or the Rakshasas like Alexander to conquer the world, that Gadha, Rakshas, Bekuf, how many people he killed en route? MAATRE. Now the America's aggression, the everybody's aggressions, killing so many. It starts with a small thought only. And the terrorist, the religious fanaticism, the religio terrorists, they're attacking. हर जगह धीरे स्टार्ट होता है. नेक्स्ट ईयर साक्रंद अर्धमृत आहूत स प्राण व्यग्र मानवम. देन मृतार्ध मृतदेहौघ श्रुता श्रुक्प्लुत निर्जरम. सी मृत अर्ध and mruta, half dead and fully dead. Deha from their bodies. Ogha Sruta Asruk Pluta Nirjaram. The blood that is oozing out of the dead and half dead is like a big flow of the river only, like a small lakes or the water pools. आते हैं ना ऊपर से, like that is that blood, half dead and full dead, human, animals, all of them. Then Sajiva Nara Prusthastha Shava Spandana Bhantidam. Some of them yet to die, not yet died. Next to them is a body already dead, but in that blood pool, it is moving, showing as if it is alive. And this fellow thinks, यार मैं जिंदा हूँ, ये भी जिंदा है करके. वो जिंदा नहीं है. Shava is only doing spandana. Shava spandana bhrantidam. It is appearing as if he is alive only. Where is alive? Long back dead. So that is another scene. Then Karindra Shavarashi Agra Vishrantam Buddha Khandakam. Ambuddha Khandakam Vishranta. The cloud is coming and landing. On what? Karindra Shavarashi Agra. Karindra Shavarashi, the elephants died and fallen. Such a height they are in, appearing like mountains. Like on the mountains, the moving clouds sit and take rest as if taking these dead elephants like mountains. The clouds are coming and Vishranta standing there. क्या बढ़िया एक कंपैरिजन है ना. करींद्र शवराशि अग्र विश्रांत अंबुद खंडकम. You can see that cloud moving. Suddenly a mountain came. He just settles. जबकि clouds तो mountain से ही आते हैं, the lower mountains, or wherever the lakes are there between the mountains in the valleys. You have seen all of them, so beautiful. So the clouds are landing on the huge mountain like elephants, dead elephants. Karindra Shavarashi Agra Vishranta Ambuda Kandakam. Then Vishirna Rata Sanghatam Vata Chinna Mahavanam. So Vishirna Ratha Sanghatam. So many of the chariots are broken into pieces. Vata Chinna Mahavanam. It is looking like the heavy wind blowing and has destroyed, uprooted so many trees. So, wind uprooted treed forest, how it looks like, is the Bhumi with the parts of the Ratha broken and fallen here and there. So, रथों के टुकड़े गिरे हुए ऐसे दिख रहे जैसे भयंकर हवा से उजड़ा हुआ जंगल की तरह. विशीर्ण रथ संघातम वात छिन्न महावनम. देन वहद रक्त नदीरम्ह प्रोह्यमान हयद्विहपम. See that? And that rakta nadi flow is so big that even the haya, the horses, dvipa, elephants were floating in that. हाथी और घोड़े फ्लोट कर रहे हैं. That much is the blood pool that was. Okay, वहद रक्त नदीरम प्रोह्यमान हय द्वीपम. हय और द्वीप दोनों को लेता हुआ और रक्त नदी बह रहा है. Then Shara Shakti Rushti Musala Gada Prasa Asi Sankulam. Sankulam is clustered all these आयुधास. क्या कहते हैं ना, बिग बिग गुच्छे गुच्छे हर जगह पड़े हुए. द शरा द हारोस, अनकाउंटेड नंबर. शक्ति द अदर शक्ति आयुधास. रुष्टि अनदर आयुधा. मुसला गदा प्रास, variety of आयुधास fallen here and there. You know, in this bombardment of the missiles by Iran, when Israel, America were attacking them with the counter missile neutralizing whatever the equipment. नीचे गिर रहे वो. Other than the blast, all other problems are happening. The blast has a big effect. That blast effect is not there because the missile is blasted in the sky only by the anti-missile. But उसके टुकड़े उतने हाइट से नीचे गिर रहे हैं. They are also causing harm to the buildings, to the vehicles, to the traveling people. Seen, I am explaining. So here also, all the Ayudas were Chinna, Bhinna, everywhere you see them only. Shara, Shakti, Rushti, Musala, Gada, Parasa, Asi, Sankulam. Okay. Then, Varyana, Vasasannaha, Kavacha, Vruta, Bhutalam. So, the whole Bhumi was, see, Paryana. Paryana means those things which are tied to the horses, on which the horse rider sits, as well as he puts his feet into both sides. That's called Paryana. How many horses? They are all died there. तो उन सबके वो सारे, whatever you call in English or Hindi, I don't have the words, those skin made things in which you sit also, and you put your both feet. You also have the lagam, in the hands, the control of the horse. All those things, Paryana. Then Paryana vasa Sannahaka Kavachavrta Bhutalam. Those things, and also the variety of kavachas. The shields were worn by the soldiers. They were also scattered, seen everywhere. Then Ketu Chamara Pattaugha Guptam Shava Sharirakam. So Ketus, the Jandas, Chamara, the fans, etc. Patta Ogha Guptam with those clothes were covered. Gupta means covered were Shava Sharirakam. The dead Shariras were not seen, covered by all these clothes that are fallen. Okay. Huh? So the Bhumi is filled with the Paryana, then Kavacha. The dead bodies are covered with Ketu and Chamara. Then Panasputakatунira Kunja Kujat Samiranam. See? Panasputakatунira Kunja Kujat Samiranam. Many soldiers are dead. So there Tunira, the quivers, Tarkas, there the arrows are there. And the wind is blowing. The wind blowing through those quivers and arrows, giving that sound. Because they're all made of the lakdi or bamboo. हवा लगता है तो आवाज आता है ना. So from the tuni era, that sound is coming. So Panasputaka tunira kunja kujat samiranam. Samir matlab हवा. Kujat matlab it is giving the sound like the sound coming out of the bamboo groove. So then next water. Shavarashi palala ugha talpa supta pishachakam. So many pishachar are floating in the blood pool, making the dead bodies as their pillows. Shavarashi palala होगा तल्प सुप्त पिशाचकम. पिशाची लोग आराम से तो बनाकर द पिलो बनाकर डेड बॉडीज को दे आर स्लीपिंग इन द ब्लड बेड. रक्त शैया पे सो रहे हैं सब. शवराशि शिवा शवराशि पलाल होगा तल्प सुप्त पिशाचकम. Then these are all post yuddha, though they stopped and they receded. The scene is explained. Mauliharangadadyota Shakrachapavana. See, Maulihara Angada. Mauli means kiritas. Hara is the gale mein rehne wale har. Angada is the puja kirtis. Everybody were wearing the golden things and studded with diamonds. Now they are stationary. Then the light is reflecting in them. Na? That reflected light giving a picture as if hundreds and thousands of Indradhanu, the rainbows are there. See, Maulihara Angada Dyota Shakra Chapa. Shakra means Indra. Chapa means Dhanu. So Indra Dhanu, the rainbow. Chakra Chapa Vanavrutam. The whole place is filled with like a Vana filled with the Indra Dhanu, so many. And what is Indra Dhanu? The light reflected in the golden ornaments and the diamonds on the kiritas and Bhujakirti and the necklaces of all people who are fallen there. Okay. Swashrugala kara krishta sandrantra dirgharajukam. This sabse bhayankar. Shwa means kutte. Shrugala, the seer and foxes, all of them. Kara akrishta. They came. They're all animals, dead and fallen like horses, elephants, and the human beings. They are there to kill. And what is the easiest thing to eat? They are there to eat the very soft inner intestines. So, Shvashrugala Kara Akrishta. They are pulling. What is that? Sandra Antra Dirgha Rajukam. The more they are pulling those antras, the intestines, it's going on, coming, वो खींच के ले जा रहे. And as you and I feel, we that such a terrible scene it is that these CR वगैरह pulling that blood from or the flesh and मांसा, उनको ऐसा नहीं लगता. They think it is an eatable, they are eating. That's how the animals and animal like some human beings who eat the animals, on this dining table, वो उसको जलाकर ये वो करके. Well, I see मेरे को तो vomiting की तरह होता है. But उनको ऐसा नहीं लगता. They feel it's an eatable. They eat only. Some foreigners तो कच्चे ही खा लेते हैं, जीते जीते. How they are able to do it, I don't know, बाबा. Maybe I am wrong. I don't know what is right or what is wrong. मुझे डर ही लगता है thought को देखकर भी. But these animals are pulling these intestines and they are endless in size. Ati dirgha rajjukam. Okay. Then Rakta Kshetra Kvanat Kinchit Shesha Jiva Srut Anturam. So, okay, then next what is what? Hmm. Some of the people who are almost at the last moments of the death, trying to stay alive, pulling their pranas, were biting their own teeth. मतलब जीने की इच्छा चाहत मुंह में दिखता है वो, while biting the teeth, trying to hold their life, not allowing Yamaraja to take away. That biting the teeth sound also is being heard. So that means somebody is struggling to be alive. After some time, that sound stopped means he's gone. So that's what the another Rakta Kshetra Kvanat Kinchit Shesha Jiva Sru Danturam. Danturam means Danta. Shesha Jiva who are alive. They are trying to become alive by holding the prana. Further, they are biting the teeth, that is giving the Kvanat Kvanat sound. Then Rakta Kardama Nirmagna Sajivanam Adarduram. See, some of the people alive but could not come out of that Rakta Kardama, the blood pools that are made. Slowly they are drowning inside them like the Darduram. Dardura is Mendak Kitara. Dekhte dekhte wo डूब रहे means like the earlier people only, those who are trying to live, biting their teeth, but they could not hold on to the prana. Slowly, while leaving the prana, they were dissolving or uh, delving or becoming going deep into drowning into the rakta kartama. Their example is like the mendak. So rakta kardama nirbagna sajivanam adurdaram, like the mendak. Sorry, adarduram. Dardura means the mendak, dadura. Then Varanga Kavacha Prakhya Nirgatakshi Shatochayam. Okay. Hmm. So Varanga Kavacha Prakhya Nirgata Akshi Shatochayam. So the eyes of each of the Yodas appear like Kavacha, holding the prana inside, but the आंख खुला है, प्राण कवि का जा चुका है. Then Vahadbhujorukaštauga Ghora Rakta Sarit Shatam. So somebody's Vahat Bhuja means the shoulders, Uru the thighs, Kashta Oga Ghora Rakta Sarit Shatam. The whole Rakta Sarit is filled with somebody's hands, somebody's legs, somebody's thighs, somebody's fingers, etc. They are like the wooden planks or wooden logs. They were floating. किसका हाथ पैर पता ही नहीं, वो बस बह रहे हैं उधर. देन साक्रंद बंधुवलितम मृतार्धमृतमानवम. So the terrible thing is what? Seeing the people who are dead also and those are half dead also, their own relatives, friends around, they are making the cry. They are crying miserably. Then Sharayudharatha Shvebha Paryana Samvarantaram. So Shara, the arrows, Ayudha, other weapons, Ratha, the broken Rathas, Ashwa, the horses, Ibha, elephants, Paryana Samvarantaram. The whole place filled with all these things that are fallen. Then Nrutyat Kavandha Dordanda Mandalanamitambaram. See, it is appearing. What is that? The kabandas, the headless bodies, moving in the waters or because of the winds, the blood pools, appearing like they are dancing only, lifting their hands. So, okay, it is very terrible scene. It is. Only head is not there, hands, legs are moving. Then Madamedo Vasagandha Pitardra Grana Kotaram. The stinking smell and the Madajala smell of the elephants was so strong that the nostrils are getting as if broken only. इतना गाढ़ sometime we क्या कहते हैं, the smell of the garlic or especially the smell of the masala. In that also when the chili, the red chili smell, terrible it is only. So the smell was like that. Then Uttalvartha Mrute Bhashva Varyamana Alpajivanam. See, Alpajivanam. They are still alive, some of them trying themselves to be safe, but Uttalu Ardha Mruta Iva Ashva Varyamana. So the elephants, the horses, which are also half dead, wanting themselves to protect in their movement, they are falling on the human beings who are half dead and they are now fully dead. That is the scene. Very, you know, people were that way dying. Though they wanted to be alive, आधा जिंदा है पर आधा मरा हुआ हाथी या घोड़ा उसके ऊपर गिर के he is dying. Then वहत रक्त नदी वीची प्रहारहत दुंदुभिः. Hurry, the dundubis, they were silent, no? People stopped blowing. But the rakta, which is flowing there, going and hitting those dundubis and making the sound as if somebody is making the dundubi swana. तो खून के नदियां दुंदुबी को लगते हुए वो आवाज आ रहा है as if somebody is blowing them. In this way was the war very terrible. Over, but the thing. Still some more slokas. All details Sri Vasishtha gave. All details we will also chant or read and see the meaning to get a picture. As we said one day, ki when these things are contemplated or remembered, we get the vairagya and we get also that maturity not to involve in such yuddhas, directly or indirectly. अब ये सब पिक्चर को एक बार इमेजिन करके देखो कितना भयंकर है. And imagine if our own people are there in it and ourselves are there in it. All of that is because of ahankara and upadhi tadatmya. Bas, that's why निरहंकार निरुपाधि पूर्ण अहमता प्राप्ति रूपी आध्यात्मिक sadhana and lakshya alone is the solution for all problems on the earth of all jivas. Atmanubhava eva sarva samasyanam parishkaraha. If this one thing is convinced, followed by deciding oneself to be the sadhaka, followed by going to the Guru and knowing from in sadhana, followed by doing sadhana. If this one thing happens, all our these studies and satsangas are fulfilled. उनका पर्पस फुलफिल हो गया. कंटिन्यू टुमारो. ओम पूर्णमदः. बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. वशिष्ठादि ऋषिगण की जय. बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की जय. Thank you. Now come to study लघु वाक्य वृत्ति.